You ever notice that when two people are about to get into a fight, they get really close to each other and they're like, yeah, what? Sorry, that was like horrible probably for you. I'm so sorry. Was that like really invasive? I'm so sorry. And that's because I got too close to you. When you're about to kiss, let's use my hands. When you're about to kiss, people get really close and then it's like that. Or they fight and they're like, what? I hate you. Ooh. And they get really close. So in a video call, you're probably like, where is this going? How did we get here from a video call? Have you ever been on a video call and just really wished it was over? Or been on a video call and been thinking about everything else you could be doing except being on that video call? You might be experiencing
Zoom fatigue.
Zoom fatigue is real. Also, video call exhaustion. This is when you spend so much time on a video call or in a video screen that your brain just can't handle anymore. And there's a couple reasons why this happens, but first I want to show you a couple of signs of Zoom fatigue. So have you experienced any of the following? You leave a call feeling more tired than energized. You don't get that same social high that you feel when you're being around people. You have constant interruptions, which give you a feeling of lack of communication. Those technical problems make you feel angry. You feel confused or awkward during a meeting. You constantly think about work, even while you're at home on a video call. And then you wonder, why am I doing this video call in the first place? These are all signs and symptoms of video fatigue. And I want to break down why this is happening and hopefully give you some tips to increase your video call stamina. Yes, that's also a real thing. So the very first thing we have to realize is most people think that a video call is less work. I hear people say all the time, oh, I just want to hop on video, or it's just a video call. In fact, we're tricked into thinking it's more casual because I'm literally in my slippers right now. I'm not even wearing real pants. I'm only Zoom ready on top. And so my brain thinks, oh, this isn't a real social interaction. And then we get on our video call and we realize, oh, it is real. Even though they can't see my feet, they're really talking to me and they're really expecting something from me. And so we have this false sense of casualness when actually video calls are just as invasive and personal as meeting with someone in person. Speaking of invasive and personal, the other thing that's happening to your brain on a video call is that we think that people are in our intimate space. So I don't know if you've noticed, but in all my videos, I try really hard to show you more of my shoulders, to give you a little bit more of my torso. A big mistake that people make when they're on video is they go really close to the camera. And so all you can see is the top part of their head. That triggers your brain to think that someone is in your intimate space. This is called proxemics in the study of body language, and proxemics is the distance between people. There are 4 different proxemic zones: the public zone, the social zone, the personal zone, and the intimate zone. The public zone is we don't really know people, they're kind of far away. The social zone means someone's close to us, we don't feel threatened by them. And the personal zone is, we're chatting, we're communicating, we're congenial. And the intimate zone is we're either going to kiss or we're going to punch each other. Have you ever noticed that when two people are about to get into a fight, they get really close to each other and they're like, yeah, what? Sorry, that was like horrible probably for you. I'm so sorry. Was that like really invasive? I'm so sorry. And that's because I got too close to you. When you're about to kiss, let's use my hands. When you're about to kiss, people get really close and then it's like that. Or they fight and they're like, what? I hate you. Ooh. And they get really close. So in a video call, you're probably like, where is this going? How did we get here from a video call? Here's how we did it. When we are only a foot away, so I'm only about a foot away from my camera right now, I begin to get really close. And your brain is like, whoa, lady. Back up, you are too close. And so Zoom calls keep triggering our fight or flight response. And so that is one of the reasons why you get on a video call and you don't realize, you're sweaty. Man, why am I so nervous? It could be because they're accidentally triggering your sense of fight or flight or getting too close. So easy fix for this is just take a step back from the computer. Make sure that you're always framing a little bit farther away, because now we're about 3 feet away. And if they're 3 feet away, you get into the personal zone, which is exactly where you want to build rapport. The second thing that happened is a 2014 study found that even a 1.2 second delay can make you seem less friendly. And the reason for this is because if even there's a slight video delay, not only is it incredibly annoying, your facial expressions do not match your words. So you might make a joke and then smile, but there's a delay. So your smile and your joke are not aligned. We do not like when people are not congruent. So congruent are when people's body language and words are completely aligned. In a delay, your video and your audio get further and further apart. And so we go, ugh, she's not congruent. And so the other thing I want you to think about here is if you are on a video call and you are having a 1.2 second delay, it is worth doing a recall or just go on audio, because that 1.2 second delay could actually hamper your rapport building. The last thing that happens here, and this is really hard, is during a conversation, we are constantly reading each other's nonverbal cues. On video, you only get a small section of my nonverbal cues. You get what I'm willing to present to you. So some of my facial expressions, my voice tone, but you don't get to see my foot behavior. You don't even get to see my hands all the time if I have my hands down here. And so your brain has to work even harder to try to read me, to try to bond with me. And that makes it even harder to produce my favorite chemical, oxytocin. So I love oxytocin. Oxytocin is the chemical of bonding and connection. And when we're in person and we're making eye contact, we're producing oxytocin. When we handshake or hug or high five, we produce oxytocin. That makes us feel closer. On video, it is much harder to produce oxytocin. Like right now, for example, if we were on video call together, I would be looking at the camera, which is right there, but you would be down there. So my screen is actually down here. So if I wanted to look at your facial expressions and your voice tone, I would be looking here. But then you don't get any oxytocin. So if I do make eye contact with you, then I don't get any nonverbal feedback. So basically, you're forcing your brain to choose connection or reading people. And that is a lot of pressure to put on your brain. It makes it even harder to connect, and we don't get that same social high that we get when we're in person. Okay, so how do we make our video calls better? Here's my very first tip, which is going to help you with your stamina, which is your warm-up / icebreaker. So if you burn yourself out in the very first few minutes of a video call, you're more tired more quickly. You have to pace yourself. Just like an athlete paces themselves through a workout, you have to do the same thing for a video call. I find that the hardest parts of video calls are those first 1 to 2 minutes, and that's because every video call starts the same way. Oh, hi. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Oh, yep. Okay. Whew, okay. Oh, we're here. So, how are you? Oh, it's super awkward. You're trying to figure out technical difficulties. You're trying to figure out if you have delay. Then you're kind of thrown off, and then you're supposed to just start bonding. How are you? How's the weather? How you feeling? You sick? You healthy? You good? Okay. So it's a super awkward transition. It's very hard to build rapport. So what I would highly recommend you do is have a standard opener right when that video pops on. So the way that I start every single one of my video calls is the same way. That is because it takes no brain power. I know exactly how I'm going to start. It's my default. It doesn't waste any energy. So I start all my video calls the same way. I get ready to hit the video button. So the moment I hit the video button, I'm ready. And then I say, hey there, nice to see ya. Oh, I can see you and hear you perfectly. So I always start by reassuring them that I can see them and hear them. If I can't see or hear them, I'll say the exact same thing. Hey, good to see ya. I can see you perfectly, but I can't hear you. Try that little button in the bottom left-hand corner. That is so automatic for me that I don't even have to think about it. And so it's taken a little bit of an awkward, clunky beginning, and now it's totally autopilot, which means it takes less energy. They also so appreciate it when I say, hey, how are you? I can see you and hear you perfectly. They're like, whew, I don't have to ask. Then the next thing you want to do is think about your icebreaker or your warm-up question. I think that how are you is okay, but it usually doesn't produce much of an answer unless you're ready for an answer. I typically ask something a little bit more specific, a little bit more dopamine producing. So where's my dopamine? There she is. So dopamine produces just a little bit of pleasure. When you ask things like, how are you? How's the weather? The brain is like totally brain dead. It's like, yeah, I've answered this all day. One of the reasons why video calls become so fatiguing is because we're having the same conversations all day long. So I try to ask a question that's going to produce a slightly more exciting answer and then give me energy. So I'll say something like, doing anything exciting? Or if it was a Monday or a Tuesday, I ask, did you do anything exciting this past weekend? If it's a Thursday or a Friday, I ask, have any exciting plans coming up this weekend? If it's a Wednesday, I say, have you been doing anything exciting recently? So I actually have day of the week openers because I don't even have to think about it. And what's great is on Monday or Tuesday, if I ask, did you do anything fun this past weekend? Either they answer yes and they actually get excited. They're like, we tried this new thing. We watched a big movie on the projector in our backyard and it was so cool. Oh, wow, what movie did you watch? And so we actually get into a real exciting conversation. Or they say, oh, no, it's been so boring. And then you have a moment where you can bond with them and you can say, oh, I know, right? It's just been like Groundhog's Day. I feel like every day is the same. The one thing that we've been trying to do is you have a moment of bonding, a moment where you reach out and you say, I'm so with you, which people really want to have that sense of belonging. And then you pivot into, I did find one thing that was exciting, and hopefully that can then trigger a little bit of excitement in them. And on a Thursday or Friday, you get to talk about hope, right? Doing anything fun this weekend? Doing anything exciting this weekend? Yeah, we have some big plans. And then you're off to the races. So having the same greeting right when you open, that's really easy and like an automatic response. Planning out your icebreakers or your opening question to very quickly build rapport in a positive way that doesn't take a lot of brain power and also gives the conversation energy. So many times, I don't know if you've noticed this, video calls deplete people. Like the start of the video call, people are like, mama. And then like 10 minutes in, they're like, ma. And then like 30 minutes in, they're like, ma. And then by the end of the call, they're like, yeah, ma. Right? Like it's like literally you can see them wilt as the call goes on. So my entire goal, and this is the next tip I want to give you, is that you want to think of things that give the call energy. So first, starting off with some kind of rapport building, exciting opener. Second, if you are talking or presenting or brainstorming with your team or with your person for more than 10 minutes, you are due for a dopamine moment. A dopamine moment, which you can actually do on video, people don't think that they can, but you can, is showing a video, doing a demonstration, doing an activity, doing a coffee break, breaking out into breakout sessions. It's a moment where you say, whew, let's pause, re-energize, and regroup. I want to show a video that I was saving. Or, hey, let's do a quick round robin. I want to get everyone's opinion on this. Or, hey, you know what? Let's take a 3-minute music break. I'm going to play Happy by Pharrell Williams. Everyone grab some coffee and come back. On my team calls and all my video calls, I have 10-minute dopamine breaks throughout the entire time. And those can be very small things or bigger things like a break, but that makes sure that you're not depleting people so they're just like, oh, right? No depleting people on video call, please. The last tip here is that there are no rules for video calls. And what I mean by that is we're in a brand new era of everyone trying to work from home and work on video, which means you can get really creative with your calls. You can set it up so that everyone watches a quick warm-up video at the start of a meeting. You can have music playing at the start of a meeting and a little dance break. You can have all kinds of weird props that you wouldn't be able to have in your office. You can have a coffee and a water next to you. You can have a whole bunch of snacks and just be popping popcorn. What I mean by this is you can get creative for what you need to sustain your energy. So for my introverts watching, it might be that you want to be on video less, only when you're talking, and then take yourself off video when you're just listening. And that's a way to conserve your energy. For my extroverts, you might like to lead the meeting. You might want to be the one who's in charge of the agenda and hosting the meeting, which is a little bit different of a role than in person. So I want you to get creative with calls that have worked. What worked about them? Is there patterns you can set up? Is there things that you can give to help yourself? One that I have for me is sometimes if I'm on a call with a friend, which we're a little bit more casual, it's not really a work call, we're just catching up or they're picking my brain, is you get to this awkward silence and you're not sure what to say next. And so I have a whole pile of icebreakers. And I literally will say to someone, hey, you want to do an icebreaker? And they'll be like, oh, sure. And that's my dopamine break. And so I have those just sitting here right next to me, and I cannot tell you how many times they have saved the day, and we've had a great conversation. So think about what else can you put in your workspace, even behind you. You'll notice that I'm very purposeful with my Zoom background. I have my favorite chemicals up because they're teaching aids. I've noticed that that can be a dopamine moment when all of a sudden I point to dopamine because it's about something else that's not just me. And so I think about what's in your background, what's around you, what can support you. There are no rules in Zoom meetings. You have to be creative and create ways that you can maintain your stamina. I would love to hear your tips for how you keep up your stamina during video calls. You also should check out a bunch of our other videos that we've made about video calls, how to master them, how to be charismatic on video, even how to present on video. Be sure to go check them out. Thanks for watching.